Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Do you ever feel like your brain has too many tabs open? You know that feeling, right? Where thoughts are just buzzing around, you can't focus, and everything feels overwhelming. It's like trying to find a specific file on a desktop that's completely cluttered with icons. This is what we call mental clutter, and it can seriously drain our energy, creativity, and happiness. But what if I told you that you could hit the refresh button on your mind just like you do with your computer? Today we're diving deep into 5 powerful yet simple techniques to declutter your mind, boost your focus, and bring a sense of calm and clarity back into your life. So, if you're ready to tidy up your mental space and feel more in control, stick around. You won't want to miss this. Let's jump right into our first technique, and it's a game changer: thought dumping. Imagine you have a basket, and you can just toss all your jumbled thoughts into it. That's essentially what thought dumping is. It's the simple act of getting every single thought, worry, idea, and to-do item out of your head and onto paper or into a digital document. It doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be organized, and it certainly doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. The goal is to empty your mind. So, how do you do it? Grab a notebook or open a blank document. Set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and just write. Don't censor yourself. Is a random grocery item popping into your head? Write it down. Are you worried about a work email? Write it down. A brilliant idea for a new project? Get it on the page. The key is continuous, unfiltered writing. This practice does 2 amazing things. First, it externalizes your thoughts, which immediately reduces that feeling of being overwhelmed. Your brain no longer has to juggle everything. Second, seeing your thoughts laid out in front of you gives you a new perspective. You can start to see patterns, identify what's truly important and what's just noise. It's a mental detox, and it's incredibly liberating. Try it tonight before bed and see how much lighter you feel. Now that you've dumped all your thoughts out, what do you do with that big, beautiful mess? This brings us to our second technique: organize your thoughts with a planner. That list you just created from your thought dump is pure gold, but it needs some structure. A planner, whether it's a physical book or a digital app, is your best friend here. It's time to sift through your thought dump and sort everything into actionable categories. Start by pulling out all the tasks and to-do items. These can be broken down into categories like work, home, personal, and errands. Then schedule them. Assign specific tasks to specific days. For bigger projects, break them down into smaller, manageable steps and plot them out over the week or month. Next, look at your worries and anxieties. Ask yourself, is this something I can control? If yes, what's one small step you can take to address it? Schedule that step. If not, it's a candidate for our next technique, which we'll get to in a moment. Finally, those brilliant ideas you had, create a dedicated ideas section in your planner. This way you won't lose them, but they won't be cluttering your immediate to-do list either. By organizing your thoughts, you're creating a roadmap. You're telling your brain, hey, I've got a plan for this, which frees up mental energy to focus on the task at hand, instead of constantly trying to remember everything. Okay, so we've dumped and we've organized. But what about those sticky, negative thoughts that keep popping back up, no matter how many lists we make? This is where our third technique comes in: addressing and releasing negative thoughts. Ignoring them doesn't work, they just fester. We need a system to process them. A powerful method for this is called catch, challenge, and change. First, you catch the thought. The moment you notice a negative thought pattern, just acknowledge it without judgment. For example, you might catch yourself thinking, I'm going to mess up this presentation. Just notice it. Second, you challenge it. Is this thought 100% true? What's the evidence against it? Maybe you've given successful presentations before, or you've prepared really well. Are you fortune-telling? Probably. This step is about questioning the validity of the negative thought, not just accepting it as fact. And third, you change it. Reframe the thought into something more balanced and realistic. Instead of, I'm going to mess up, you could change it to, I'm nervous, but I'm well prepared and I'll do my best. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's about finding a more constructive and truthful perspective. Regularly practicing this helps rewire your brain to be less reactive to negativity, creating a more peaceful and resilient inner world. Our fourth technique is one of my personal favorites, and it might seem counterintuitive, but it's crucial. Take intentional breaks. In our hustle culture, we often feel guilty for stepping away from our work. We think that pushing through is the only way to be productive. But that's a direct path to burnout and mental clutter. Your brain is not a machine. It needs downtime to recharge, consolidate information, and spark creativity. Think of it like this. When you are working intensely on a puzzle and you get stuck, sometimes the best thing to do is walk away. When you come back, you often see the solution immediately. The same applies to your mind. Taking short, regular breaks can dramatically enhance your focus and problem-solving skills. I'm not talking about scrolling through social media, which can often add to the clutter. I mean a real break. Stand up, stretch, look out the window, walk around the block for 5 minutes, or just close your eyes and breathe deeply. These micro breaks disrupt the mental fatigue and allow your brain to switch into a different mode. This diffuse mode of thinking is where creativity and insight often happen. So schedule breaks into your day just like you schedule meetings. It's not a waste of time. It's a strategic investment in your mental clarity and overall productivity. Finally, let's talk about our fifth technique, limiting overstimulation. We live in a world that is constantly vying for our attention. Notifications, endless news feeds, loud environments, multitasking. It's a constant barrage of information. This overstimulation is a primary source of mental clutter. Your brain is trying to process everything at once, which makes it nearly impossible to think clearly or make good decisions. To declutter your mind, you need to intentionally create pockets of quiet in your day. Start by being mindful of your digital consumption. Set specific times to check emails and social media rather than being constantly connected. Turn off non-essential notifications on your phone. Can you imagine the peace? Try a digital sunset where you put away all screens an hour or two before bed. This not only helps your sleep, but gives your mind a chance to unwind. Also, be conscious of your physical environment. If possible, find a quiet space to work or just to sit for a few minutes each day. Practice monotasking, doing one thing at a time. When you're eating, just eat. When you're talking to someone, just talk. By reducing the external noise, you allow your internal signal to become stronger and clearer. You're giving your mind the space it needs to breathe, process, and function at its best. So there you have it. 5 practical techniques to start clearing your mental clutter today. Let's do a quick recap. First, practice thought dumping to get everything out of your head. Second, organize those thoughts with a planner to create a clear, actionable roadmap. Third, address and release negative thoughts using the catch, challenge, change method. Fourth, take regular, intentional breaks to recharge your creativity and focus. And fifth, limit overstimulation to give your brain the quiet space it needs to thrive. The beauty of these techniques is that you can start with just one. You don't have to implement them all at once. Pick the one that resonates with you the most and give it a try this week. Remember, decluttering your mind is not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing practice, like tidying your home. The more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more peaceful and focused your life will become. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly hope these tips help you find a little more clarity and calm. If you found this video helpful, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more content to help you live a more intentional life. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which technique are you going to try first? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.